Elite Facts presents
7 of the world's dumbest thieves.
7.
Keep the change. Back in 1977, a thief in Southampton, England came up with the ingenious idea of robbing the cash register at his local supermarket. After collecting a basket full of groceries, he approached the checkout area and placed a £10 note on the counter. The cashier took the bill and opened up the cash register, at which point the thief snatched the contents and fled the scene before the police could even be called. That's quite a risky way to rob a store, but hey, more power to the guy, I suppose. Anyway, as it turns out, the exchange turned out to be a bad deal for the thief. The reason being, the till only contained £4.37 and the thief ended up losing about £5.63. It's a bigger rip-off than Tesco.
6.
The Masked Man. Clive Bunyan ran into a store in Caton near Scarborough, England, and forced the shop assistant to give him £157 from the till. Because, you know, it's definitely worth robbing a store over £157. I mean, what's that going to get you? A week's worth of shopping? Then he made his getaway on his motorbike. To hide his identity, Bunyan had wore his full-face helmet and mask. It was a smooth, successful heist, except for one small, insignificant detail. He had forgotten that across his helmet in large letters were the words, Clive Bunyan, driver. Yeah, we're not even joking about this one. Bunyan was soon arrested in order to pay for his crime by doing 200 hours of community service. Again, was it really worth it? I mean, is it really worth robbing a store over £157?
5.
Worst lawyer ever. In Tulsa, Oklahoma, 25-year-old Marshall George Cummins Jr. was charged with attempted robbery in connection with a purse snatching at a shopping mall on October 14th. In 1976, during the trial that took place the following January, Cummins chose to act as his own attorney. Now, there is a reason why criminals are always given a right to an attorney. Sure, most times criminals will be given a public defender to plead their case, but it's better than nothing. Well, Cummins decided to act as his own attorney, and let's just say it didn't end well for him. While cross-examining the victim, Cummins asked, "Did you get a good look at my face when I took your purse?" Cummins later decided to turn over his defense to a public defender, which he probably should have done from the beginning. Well, unfortunately for him, it was way too late, and he was convicted and sentenced for 10 years in prison. Shouldn't have been so cocky.
4.
Free beer. Any Simpsons fan will know about the sting operation the police did in that episode, Lisa the Skeptic. You know, the one where Homer and all the other Springfield criminals fall for the trap the police set involving free motorboats. Well, in 2011, Derbyshire police used a very similar idea by offering wanted criminals free beer. The men received notices through undercover officers informing them that they had won a crate of free beer each. That sounds pretty normal, doesn't it? In order to collect the beer, they needed to contact the company that ran the promotion. Many criminals were tempted by the idea. 19 fugitives called the assigned number, setting up a time and a place to collect their winnings. Tragically, there was no free beer when they turned up. Don't you just hate when that happens? Instead, they were just taken into police custody for all their troubles. Could you imagine that, being promised free beer and then getting arrested for it? Anyone would be annoyed at that.
3.
Gave the cashier their number. Okay, this might take the cake when it comes to stupidity. So back in 2008, 18-year-old Ruben Zarate, I apologise if I'm pronouncing that wrong, wanted to rob a muffler shop in Chicago. He entered the store with a firearm and demanded that the cashier hand over whatever cash they had in store. Pretty standard stuff, right? Well, not quite. Most of the money the shop had was in the safe and only the manager could open it. Unfortunately for him, the manager wasn't in. This didn't stop Ruben as he was determined to get whatever was in the safe. Ruben decided that he would try again later. To save himself some time, he left his cell phone number with the store employee. That's right, you heard that correctly, he left his number with the store employee. The employee called the Chicago police as expected. The police arrived and instructed the employee to call the robber. Once called, Zarate returned back to the shop only to be greeted by a pair of handcuffs. They engaged in a brief shootout, but in the end, Zarate was arrested. I mean, what was he really expecting? He left his phone number with the shop.
2.
Asking if there was money in the register before committing the crime. In 2008, police charged 40-year-old Daniel Glenn with robbing a convenience store in Windsor, Ontario. Sounds pretty standard so far, right? Well, before he decided robbing the store, he decided it would be a great idea to call the store up ahead of time to ask the clerk if there was any money in the cash register before he decided to show up. As you'd probably expect, the clerk alerted the police, who arrested Glenn nearby. CanWest News Service reported that Glenn was a suspect in 2 similar incidents where the thief called ahead to make sure that the clerk had the money bagged and ready for him to go. You can't make this stuff up.
1.
Worst disguise ever. So having a good disguise when planning a robbery is pretty standard stuff. Without a disguise, you're pretty much just asking to get arrested on the spot. Furthermore, a good disguise needs to be inconspicuous so that you can blend in with the crowd. The disguise chosen by Dennis Hawkins, a 48-year-old Pittsburgh man, is nothing short of ridiculous. His disguise consisted of a woman's blonde wig, pair of fake breasts, and clown pants. The first problem was the get-up. Not only did it reveal his face, but he was almost instantly captured on CCTV surveillance. You might guess that Mr. Hawkins wanted to fool people into thinking that he was a woman. I mean, with the get-up, how could you argue? Well, problem was the disguise itself wasn't exactly convincing. It also didn't help that he didn't shave his beard before committing the robbery. Right after police released a description of the public, a gas station attendant called to report someone sporting a very unique look while also attempting to steal a car. As if he wasn't noticeable enough, when the police found Hawkins, they found him covered in red paint and a dye pack that exploded in his face. After the robbery, he tried to mug a woman in order to steal her car. She ran off taking the keys with her. Maybe you should have planned the robbery out a little bit better. And that's our list. Did we miss any out? Let us know in the comments section below. Please remember to subscribe and tap the bell button to be notified when new videos are uploaded. Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like us and subscribe for more elite facts.